Hey everyone, it's Jade from Boho Book and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to bring you my January wrap-up. I managed to read a total of 5 books in January. So the first book I read was The Undomestic Goddess by Sophie Kinsella. I've never read Sophie Kinsella before. It's not as funny as I expected it to be because from everything I'd heard about Sophie Kinsella's writing, I'd really thought that this would be such a funny, fun book. And it was light and funny and fluffy and great. But it wasn't fantastically hilarious for me like I expected it. So I think I gave it about a 3-star, 3.5-star review on Goodreads, I'm not too sure. It did come into my life at the perfect moment because I just moved into this flat that you can see. I was only here for a couple of days when I'd already almost burnt the place down. So Undomestic Goddess, hashtag, seemed like a good book to start with. Then I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgernstern, and the amount of hype that this book has received over not just recently but years and years. This book was recommended to me many years ago and I don't know why. I'm not a fan of circuses. Don't ever take me to one because I will probably get the animal rights involved or something because it angers me like nothing else. But I read this book and it was beautiful, literally as it says, breathtaking. The writing was phenomenal. I fell so in love with this writing style. I don't even know if the author's written anything else, but I have to find out because her writing is just phenomenal. The book is based around, obviously, a night circus, a circus that only comes to life at night, and it's all magical, but people think that it's just, you know, tricks of the mind. The main characters are in a duel of their magical capabilities and they're using the circus as their venue, but the duel goes on for a long period of time, years. They kind of just have to keep on playing this game until one of them gets checkmate. So it's pretty intense, but it's beautiful and I really liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. Then I read Do You Cupcake by Meg Donohue. This one, I loved the writing. Again, I thought the writing style was beautiful. It's a debut novel, so I was really impressed with the author's work that she put into it. But I did feel like there were way too many elements in this book. I've done a review on it, so you can see it down below. But basically, this book is about 2 women. They used to be best friends in school, and somehow something happened and their friendship fell apart, but then 10 years later they're back in each other's lives and they're starting up a cupcakery together. Sorry, my mouth is my throat is dry. Yeah, like I said, there's many elements to this book, and for that reason it just got a little bit too much at times, and I gave it 3.5 stars, although I really did enjoy it and I would recommend it. Then I read Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, my first Robin Hobb book, and it's the first book in the Farseer trilogy. I absolutely loved Robin Hobb's writing. The storyline was great. Within the first few pages I was completely invested in this little 6-year-old bastard. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, although I found it quite slow paced, but I do understand that because it's the first book in a trilogy, so it's kind of like an introductory book to the trilogy, and I gave this book 4 stars. It is about a bastard son of Prince Chivalry who is king in waiting, and when everyone finds out that the king-to-be has fathered a bastard, it shames him and he has to basically leave the kingdom and go off with his wife, the queen in waiting, and they are not allowed to be part of the kingdom anymore. And the main character, the little 6-year-old boy, you watch him kind of grow up through this book, and he's despised and no one likes him. They basically just want him to die, but somehow he's going to get trained up to protect the king, the new king, and use this skill, and it's got a good... I thought that there would be more fantasy in this than there was, but I think that as the story goes along in the next book, it's going to get more fantastical. the last book that I read in January is Annabeth Neverending by Leyla, Kader, Dahm. The author's assistant sent me an email and asked if I'd be interested in a copy of this in exchange for an honest review, and I was absolutely thrilled because it's the first time that it's ever happened, and I had really high hopes for it, to be honest, and I was quite disappointed. And you know, there are many great parts of this book. You know, I think the fact that it teaches you a lot about ancient Egypt. The storyline is great, but I didn't enjoy the writing. I thought that the main character annoyed me. I don't know, I feel really bad saying that, but basically this is a story about this girl called Annabeth, obviously, and she discovers this ankh pendant. It allows her flashbacks of her past life in ancient Egypt. The whole book is about her discovery of being reincarnated and how the people surrounding her life, these two boys in particular, are from the past as well, and she's torn in a love triangle between these two brothers and who she's got to choose and who's the good and who's the evil. But I just felt like it was a bit like insta-love. Like, I don't know how much time lapsed over in these pages, but it felt like the author didn't really say how many pages, how many months had passed, and it felt like the main character had just kind of fallen in love with the one and then the other, and then she was like confessing her undying love and she was heartbroken, but she'd only just met them, and I was just like, no. Yeah. But I will be doing a full review on it, so, and then I'll discuss it further, and I will let you know the good parts of it, because I think that there is a particular target market, and you could be that target market. So check out the review when it's up, because it's a young adult paranormal romance, and if you like paranormal and you like young adult, then maybe this one is for you. Yes, these are the books that I read in the month of January, and to be honest, like, it's quite surprising to me that the books that I actually really wanted to read for myself were these two in particular. I really like girly chick lit books, so I was really stoked to read Sophie Kinsella, and then this one, I've had it on my shelf for ages and I picked it from my TBR jar, so I was pretty stoked as well because it's one that I picked without having BookTube recommend it to me. And then these two were, like, this one has been highly recommended to me throughout time, through friends and family, but also through BookTube. And this one, I had only just heard about Robin Hobb and her books through BookTube. And then this one, obviously, after I got my channel, I got asked to do a review on it. And these ones had lower ratings than the ones I had got recommended from BookTube. And that actually really surprised me, and I'm actually quite happy about that, because without BookTube I'd never have picked these two books up, to be honest with you, and I think that it went really well. So yeah, very stoked, and I'm going to continue to listen to your guys' reviews and recommendations and read more beautiful books. So have a wonderful day further. Let me know what you read in the month of January down below and what you're currently reading now. Have a good day, guys, and catch you later. Bye.